Hi, my name is Sammi Saint. Welcome to a light language transmission for your inner child. This session is meant to help you connect with, heal, and integrate your inner child. Please consent and we will get things started. Yaya no aseya shoaka Yana he maya Yano he ya Anaya maya Hey ya naya wa ya Hey Yaso ashate amane akaya huasa Yashe anaya ote amayaka Naya koete ama He anaya se aika Naya otoe amayaka ya Breathe in and out. For this session today, I have this little rattle from maraca and it's super beat up, but it's I made it when I was in 3rd grade, so I thought it was like perfect for the session. And I couldn't bring myself to get rid of it, so perhaps this is why. This thing's almost 20 years old, if you can believe it. Ya ko anayaka Naya ko anaya Yata omakea Yata omakea Yaso mite akoa Yaso mite ama Yato anaka Ete amiha Ato amia Yato amia Yato amia Ite anaya Oh oh anaya oh oh I akoa. Oh oh I ama. Yuto anai akoana. Yatso ani akoe. Yato amiya yato amiya yato amiya yase. Breathe in and out. Yako shikoti amani yako. Yasho ate amoya. Yako ase anai yako aniya yako shikoti amani ya. Yako anai yako anatashe. Yate amai yake ya. Yako asani yako ana e yako ta ya. Aniya yawe. Yasho anai yako wa. Yato amiya yana. Yake anai yako waka amiya. Oh ayo anaya. Yako ase amake yata. Yasho anaya. Yako anai yako anai yako ana. Ishe yako ana yake ya. Yato anishe yako ate amaya. Yate amiya. Yako eseya nate ya. Asho anaya. Asho anaya. Ooh. Yako asai ashayana. Yatare yako shikiti amaniya. Eate yako eshana. Ite amute yako eseya. Naya miyaya. Naya oaya. Yate anai yako ase. Na o asha e amaya. Hey Ow! Alright. This is a piece of green aventurine. I always call it like I call it my Christmas stone, is what I call it. Because whenever I hold it, it gives me the feeling of Christmas. And like that, like, if you can remember, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, but anytime you stayed up like late and you were, bracing for impact, if you will, for like such an exciting day. And like, I always feel like during that time of year, you can feel the, kind of like the magic in the air, honestly. And I think, especially in terms of like our inner child, I think the inner child is, it's really not so complex. What makes it difficult to understand it and connect to it is that we act often, as I hit my tiara, like, because childhood is done and we're adults now, that we no longer have access to that side of us, which is farthest from the truth, especially when you consider your nervous system is wired from 0 to 7. So our nervous systems actually, in our adult bodies, still have a ton of impact and influence from this inner child. And sometimes when we're not feeling like good, or we've been so stressed doing adult things, whatever that is. But I notice a lot of times it's like we're just not remembering what we used to do for fun. And sometimes I think we can really lose ourselves because we stop connecting to that heart space and that space where the inner child lives. And it's really just a part of the psyche, on like a small scale, but on a spiritual, well, not on a small scale, but on like a psychological scale. But when it comes to the spiritual side of things, it's a very, very much an alive part of you that you can connect to and kind of talk with. I've gone through many sessions with just myself in my journal where I've felt kind of triggered by something in life, maybe a memory, maybe someone said something. And I got this intuitive feeling that I knew it had to do with something from my childhood. And I would sit and journal and basically ask, like, have myself as an adult ask, like, hey, what's this about? And I swear I would get, like, I would know what to write about. Like, I'd start writing, like, I'm mad because so and so did this, or things like that. I've done that talking too, like a call and response with myself. And you'd be surprised how many things are still rooted in something so small from when we were little. But sometimes that can carry so much weight because it was our first experience, with something, or maybe being disappointed, right? Oh, it's the worst. Or being rejected, or like there's just so many things, wanting a hug, maybe not having that physical support, maybe not having enough money, right? Those are like a lot of our childhood wounds. Feeling like we can't be provided for and we can't be abundant. Ugh, it's hard. And heaven forbid there's like language around abundance and things like that discourages or talks down on people that do have more, because that can even rewire our psyche to even believe more that we deserve less, and we can actually manifest from that space. And it's trippy and it's tricky. But step one is just reconnecting with this part of you. And one way that I thought was so fun when I first started doing it, outside of just like journaling, is I would try to think back to when, sorry, one second. I would try to think back to a time when I was little and like, what did I like? Like when I was six, seven, right? I try to think back to a time, maybe I should be more fun with that. Maybe I shouldn't at that, because it's new for the kids these days. But like, what did you like when you were that age? And can you integrate that into the space now? So like one thing for me, as an adult, I don't eat sugar really, because I know it's not, good for our brains and all that. But when I was little, we barely got pop because we didn't, we were trying to cut back on funds and stuff. So, and probably because it was unhealthy, but I loved it. And now one thing I'll do once in a while, like if I feel like I'm having a trigger from that space of the inner child, is I'll like let myself have a Pepsi. And it's so little, but like, it's so cute. And it actually, you'll like notice that little spark of joy or happiness, or like I said, that feeling before like a holiday kind of come back into the body. And yeah, I've done other things like work with like different things that I liked as a kid. Like I made a Build-A-Bear, and it was actually so much fun. Like, because I think there's this thing of denying ourselves joys that we had when we were a kid that keep us feeling stuck and sad. Like, oh, you're an adult now, life isn't fun anymore, which is just ridiculous. But that's the programming we get. That's what we're told. Grow up, man up, get your stuff together, like all those things. And then as a result, we start just like, I don't think we do it intentionally, but I feel as though it's like a subconscious like punishment perhaps, where we like deny ourselves this joy. And where it all comes from, I don't know. There clearly is a source, but it's combination stuff, and it's not all on purpose. I think when you first start healing the inner child, it's natural to get mad and blame and shame, but everybody really does what they can with the tools that they have when you're growing up, and you're being raised by countless people, right? It's not just our parents. It's our teachers, it's our neighbors, it's our siblings sometimes if they're older than us. Whether or not they should be raising us is out of the question, but things like that. So yeah, there's all like these fun little ways to bring things back in. Even like today, I wore this tiara because, it's something small, but when I was little, I was like a princess girl, and it's like, okay, well, that's one way I can kind of like bring back in my inner child, to just remind myself like I can have fun and I can pull from that space too. And it doesn't mean I like fully become a kid again, although is there really anything so negative about that? Not really, come to think of it. But can I like bring her into the space more? Because the more she's in the space, the more you can actually lead from your heart. And when we're leading from our heart, we feel more purpose, we feel more connected, we're more intuitive. So it's actually kind of this like cool whirlwind that brings us all the way back from, one point and back to ourselves. So, which is funny. Who would think becoming an adult was remembering who you were as a child? It's important. Yayo Yahotai ako anaye koyasa yatoa maya Yakoshea te ameata Yakosene amohei Yayoto ambite akoa Anaye ae o akashe anai Eka na ko ayatnaya Yako anai asaye Oh! Ay! Yate anai ako sana E yako anaya Yate amae Yato ano aya sana Ayasho ane aka emi ayatoi Breathe in and breathe out. Ya kushkatia nani akotaria kaya kataria kashkatia. Big release. Oh, I love that. It's funny. I used to think like the heart chakra was very much about like heartbreak, you know? And I think we connect that more to adult experiences. But a lot of it, I think, is that, like, I can't describe it any more than that, like, feeling of disappointment that sometimes we face when we're little, or, like, I don't know. I often think of it as, like, little stuff. Like, we wanted a toy, or, like, we wanted this flavor of ice cream, and, like, it wasn't there. And, like, somehow when you're little and you have that joy, it, like, it hurts. And maybe sometimes we stop trying. I get it. It's all connecting as I'm saying this. Maybe we stop trying those new things and stop looking for those pieces of joy because things happen where we don't experience them. And that pain that we experience sometimes will stop us in our tracks. And we're so young at the time, we don't realize that, that's the natural flow of life, right? Good days, bad. I'm optimistic that we will have more and more good days as the months come. I believe that truly with the deepest part of my heart, and I encourage you to believe it too. So it manifests more and more, and you pass that message on to others, and we just continue to uplift this collective and everyone on earth. But yeah, the things that we experience as kids can hold us back, and we actually don't realize that that's what's happening. And at the same time as they can hold us back, they can also guide us towards our passions and our new moments in time. Like, was there a place you wanted to visit when you were really little? And sometimes it's, you think, oh, I just wanted to do it when I was little because, like, let's say it was like, I saw a picture of the Eiffel Tower, and I wanted to go to Paris, and it wasn't much perhaps deeper. But little kids have this beautiful ability to kind of follow their intuition and their heart because they haven't gotten, pushed down by the world just yet. I hope one day we don't have so much pushing down. And I think we won't because we're getting smarter and we're learning more about, what actually is good for us in the long run. But when we can understand that those things, were either accidental or maybe they were meant to shift us onto a new path temporarily, but they were never meant to be held on forever, those things that can cause problems. And when we can follow our little intuitive hits, like maybe going to a place we always wanted to try, like say you always wanted to try rollerblading and you never do it because like, what if I fall? Like, you will gain so much more by just trying those little things, especially if you're feeling stuck. I often am understanding progressively that a lot of stuckness is kind of rooted in our hearts because we either don't believe that we can take the next step or we're struggling with that trust. Well, trust is going to be more in our solar plexus, which is why I'm touching it right now. I'm feeling called to touch that. But it's like this lack of trust that doesn't fuel us to go after what we want. And again, it doesn't always have to be this amazing career or purpose. That's something I've struggled with for a while, of always trying to now do things. Woo! The sound drop. Always trying to do things from that space. But sometimes when we like stare at something too long, it doesn't work the same way. And we have to take a step back and reconnect to just something fun or gentle or little to get that second wind. It's kind of counterintuitive. It's like you actually have more progression in one space when you take a step back from that space than when you spend all day staring at it and assuming, like, if I don't stare at it, that's that fear of control that a lot of people still have and I have to work through too. But when I spend all this time staring at it, it doesn't have the ability to even breathe or, move, because if I'm staring at it and not seeing progress, well, then that's all I focus on, instead of being like, you know what, I'm going to go rollerblading. Maybe that's what I'll do next, considering I'm talking about it. With all this in mind, I encourage you to find something today or this week that makes you feel connected to your inner child. I don't know what that is. There's all different ways, right? Maybe you had a favorite animal. Kids love animals. I mean, I still do, but kids love animals because animals are very connected to the self and the heart space, like kids are, right? So it's like perfect match. But with something like that, like if you have if you had a favorite animal, like get a stuffed animal that's little, or like a pair of socks if you want to keep it like somewhat adult. That's probably more of an integrated showing of it, right? Like we incorporate it into our adult lives. But or like a tie, or, like just something little like that. Or if you had a favorite food, or it doesn't have to be the biggest thing in the world, but just see where it takes you. Yanayaka te asano asha ena te akayamo ateaya. Ya tarite amayako anayako easeyako anite amaya. Ya ko anaya ya tuite aya ya tuanaya oayam. Ya tarasho ama ya tarasheaka anayate amu ayasaya. Naya ote ama easoam. All right. We are at the end of our session. If you liked it, I would like for you to like it, the video. I would appreciate it. Just so more people can find it. And if you could subscribe too, I would love that. But outside of that, I'm just happy to have you here. I hope you have a great week. I hope this inspired you in some way, whether it's to learn more about the inner child or even just to like give yourself just a little something that brings you that same feeling, right, of when you were little and the world was your oyster. I encourage you to reconnect to that. All right. My name is Sammi Saint. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you for joining me. It's been an honor to do this transmission with you. And I am deeply grateful to all that are bringing light into the world at this time on Earth. Be the thing that brings brightness. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See ya.